And good afternoon and welcome to the coverage this afternoon from Seaford Oval, where the Queanbeyan Blues up against the Queanbeyan Roos. And joining me, John, the local derby, it's on this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely, Chris. It's both of these teams have had their first round last week. Both got through unscathed, but this is a different matter altogether.
Yeah, they both had a win last week, and coming off fairly strong season last season. I think both sides made the finals. You'd know a little bit more than me.
Yeah, so last year the Roos made the grand final and were defeated by West Belconnen, and the Blues made the preliminary final again, West Belconnen pipping them to the post there. So last week both of these teams did have wins, as you said, Chris. The Blues, strong winners, 68-6 against Belconnen Sharks, and the Roos had a hard-fought win against Tuggeranong, 32-16.
Well, again, I'd imagine it's going to be a fairly tough competition, fairly level. What you get at the start might not necessarily what you've got at finals time. It tends to change as the season goes on, but it's from my experience, and I haven't called this local competition in probably over 20 years, but I keep an eye on it, and it's fairly tight week to week.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're definitely right there. It does definitely start off a little bit harder to predict, but then it really tightens up towards the end of the season. Like these two teams, they met in one of the early rounds last year, and the Blues ended up winning that one 56-0. I don't think it'll be that big of a gap today, but I'm not sure what to expect, because the Blues did have a comparatively easier game, so they haven't really been tested yet. And the Roos, again, they played a team which had a new coach as well, so it's hard to kind of put any perspective on their performances from last week.
Terry Campese, captain coach of the Blues, he's a brave man. He's had a lot of injuries. Those knees have given him grief for many years, and I thought he would have hung up the boot. So I get quite a surprise arriving here this afternoon to see he's playing. Yeah,
absolutely. And there's a lot more importance on him today as well, because David Beath, the halfback from last week, he's injured. So they've actually got Adam Missius, who's normally actually a fullback.
Right.
So Campese is really going to be the key for the Blues today. But absolutely right. He's only 32. Feels like he's been around a little bit longer than that, Campo.
Yeah, well, I remember those great days when he was in the red-hot form playing 5'8" for the Raiders, and he had one super season, which I'm pretty certain ended in playing for Australia in the, I think it was the Prime Minister's side up in Papua New Guinea. But that was a wonderful season when the Raiders stormed home to make the finals, going back some years. He's been a great player. What's he been in England the last 2 years?
Yeah, Hull Kingston Rovers. He was over there, I think, since 2014. He's come back at the end of last year. Like you, I thought he would have retired, but he actually was the one who initiated this position when Simon Wolford went up to Newcastle. Terry Campese actually got in touch with the Blues to get this gig.
Right. Well, he's keen. He loves his rugby league. He's a terrific bloke. Does a lot for charity. So we wish him the best with those knees. He'll certainly be a great guidance around the field. On the other side of the coin, the Kangaroos, Queanbeyan Roos, their captain coach is Aaron Gorrell, who's a man with plenty of NRL experience himself.
Yeah, absolutely. He played a handful of games for he's leading out the team now, but he played for the Dragons and the Broncos as well. So he's got a lot of experience. I think this is his. I think it's his fifth full season at the Kangaroos, and this is actually his final year playing as well. So right. He played 80 minutes of hooker last week. He was telling me during the week that he was very sore, but he was quite happy because he hasn't been able to get through full 80 minutes to start the season for a while.
Well, we've got the Queanbeyan Roos out there, and we'll do our best to get through it. I must say, 90% of these players I've never seen before, so we'll be trying to pick them up for you. And as you'll probably see in the coverage, that the Roos numbers are very faint. It's virtually white on white, so they're going to be a little bit difficult to pick up as we learn these players in the early stages of this match. So we'll get the apology in before we make any Blues. Now Terry Campese leading out the Queanbeyan Kangaroos, and I guess it's hard to know where, apart from Campese we spoke about, do you know where their strengths will come from?
Well, Brendan Tauki, the winger, number 2, he scored 3 tries last week. Campese really did look to spread the ball out wide. Mind you, that was against a side that in Belconnen, which is still finding its feet under a new coach, Scott Logan. But they did spread it out quite wide. They've got a lot of strike power. They've got 5 rugby union players that have come over for this season. Thomas Rudiger as well in number 4. He's just come back from a stint in the 3rd division in England as well. He played here a couple of years ago when the Blues beat Goulburn in the final. So he's got a very strong outside backs.
Well, just looking at the fields on the sides running out on the field, both of them look to have some very sizable blokes. So I imagine this is going to be fairly hard tussle up at the centre to get on top and then give of course the room to the backs.
Yeah, absolutely. Size Tui for the Blues. He's a huge unit, and his opposite number, Steve Dunn for the Kangaroos. He doesn't look much smaller, so it'll be interesting to see how these guys go. As I said last week, the Blues did look to spread it out quite wide, quite a bit, but I think you're right. It's going to be really fought out through the middle,
and that'll go a long way to deciding the winner of this match. I guess I think these sides are renowned for having fairly high scoring affairs.
As I said, their last. When they met last year, it was 56-0. But even last year, in the first week of finals, it was 32-12 win to the Roos. So certainly not a low-scoring affair, but still very hardly fought.
Right, as always, they're going to swap sides. So just swap the sheets over, and we'll be just about ready for kick-off. I think this will be an entertaining affair. Suit the local derby. It's always very entertaining.
Definitely. We've got Brent Crisp here, the 5'8", so he's had a bit of an NRL experience as well with the Bulldogs. He'll be kicking off for the Kangaroos.
All right, so the ball is placed and we're about to get underway. With 80 minutes in front of us, and it is the Roos up against the Blues. Roos to kick off. Referee just checking with everyone, blows his whistle. We have time on. The kick goes deep down into that far corner. It's taken back there by the little halfback, Missios. And Missios is going to play it about 10 out from his own line. Fullback Wheeler is a run. We'll make it about 15 metres out. So the Blues, the first one with the ball. There's the big fellow, McGuinness, taking a charge up the centre. He's a big lad. McGuinness plays it. Now they'll swing it to this side. Ulrich calling the shots early. Little bit of room there for Stevens. But good cover defence from the Roos. They pinned them on halfway. Campese looked to work the blind side with his winger. But the defence read it nicely. Couldn't unload the ball to the Vecchi. So now we get to the last tackle. And the kick comes from James Ulrich, the hooker. And it's the Roos. They clean it up. They bring it back 30 metres out from their own line.
Yeah, I was quite surprised very early on there. The Blues were looking to shift the ball out to the left. Obviously, the winger out there, Brendan Tahuki, he scored 3 tries last week, so they're really trying to utilise their outside backs early.
So Goral, the captain coach, and he'll play the dummy half. He's going to call the shots. He brings up Najir. Najir makes it 10 short of halfway towards the centre of the ground. So both sides feeling themselves out here in the early stages, and a ball across from Taholo. Finds support on his outside, and they're just shy of halfway. They'll work it down that far side through Essex. He's going to kick deep into the corner, and Wheeler's racing back, but it'll beat him. It's over the sideline, about 18 metres out from the Blues line, so that's a pretty sound set from the Roos to settle into the match.
Yeah, that was a bit more what I was expecting when the game started, just rolling down the middle and then a kick to touch just to end it there. So they made a fair bit of ground. Be interesting to see how the battle of the two packs goes throughout the afternoon.
Well, the referee having a little joke with Aaron Goral there. Both of them come up laughing before the first scrum of the match is going to pack. 18 metres out from the Blues line. Missios to feed. Campese at 5'8". It'll be interesting to see how Missios service to Campese. The first one is going to bring in the fullback. That's Wheeler who take a run. Met with a fairly heavy tackle, and in fact the referee doesn't like it. There was an arm around the neck. So probably a poor mistake from Queanbeyan. They had a chance to pin the Blues down on their own line, but they give away the penalty right in front of the referee. And Campese, with that big boot of his, is going to take it 10 metres short of halfway to take the tap. So Blues, this will be probably their first opportunity to cross the halfway line and work play down the field. So Rudiger, he takes the tap and passes to Missios, and we've got a mistake.
Yeah, that's a big let off for the Roos there. After giving away the first penalty of the game, you'd really want a good solid set to be able to just be able to put some pressure on the Roos defence. But a very poor mistake on the first tackle there.
So mistakes from both sides early in this match is they'll need to eliminate those to get on top. Brent Crisp now trying to work it through his fullback Daniel Reid, who came up into the line, but he's pushed backwards. Stevens in with a good tackle. They're about 40 metres out. Going to work it through their winger, Queanbeyan. He goes very close to the sideline. Now the ball popped out the back. The referee says he's lost it after the tackle. I think Queanbeyan might be injured here. He's clutching at a shoulder, so that's no doubt why he lost control of the ball after the tackle was affected. It'll be a scrum to the Queanbeyan Blues, 12 short of halfway.
Yeah, he's really struggling down there. It's being lifted by the trainer. Looks like his right shoulder.
He's in a bit of pain. We might be looking at a replacement early in this match, and that's a shame for Jedediah. I'm not sure on his first name's pronunciation.
Jedediah
Sabinkin. He's in a bit of pain, and I think we'll see him retire early.
It's a left shoulder.
So the first reserve will take his spot on the field, and unfortunate for Queanbeyan, he's had to go to the sheds. Jake Keeley's going to take his spot. So Keeley will probably play in the centres, it looks like, and Dumas, or rather Aroa, is taking the position now on this right side wing for the Roos. So Queanbeyan with the scrum win. And they work it across. They go through to Hookie. He's caught on the far side of the ground. They'll keep working it that way. Ulrich calling the shots from dummy half, and he takes one of his forwards towards halfway. Brings it back. Now the big man McInnes goes up the centre. He takes play 8 metres into the Roos territory. I'll bring it back this way to Campese. He's going to show the ball. Links up with Cullen. Michael Cullen heads back infield. Defence read it well. It's still 38 metres out from the Roos line. Slow play the ball. And it comes away. Ulrich works it to the right, this time through Tui. Tui pushes his way upfield with a good run. 25 metres out. Back this way for Campese. He's going to put the bomb up. It's a nice high one. It's going to put pressure on. Oh, beautifully taken. And there's the first try of the match. Jake Wheeler. He got up above them. The fullback for the Queanbeyan Blues, right up above them, and has scored a good try.
That was a perfectly weighted kick from Campese. Just forward enough, just so it gave Wheeler a chance, and he didn't make any mistakes there.
Well, Daniel Reid was in good position, but you're right. With the big boot of Campese, it hung in the air for a long time, and it gave Jake Wheeler that extra time to get through and challenge Daniel Reid. And with the speed up coming into the ball, Jake Wheeler is really able to get up high.
Yeah. And you can see on the replay here, the Queanbeyan Roos defence, they know that this ball's going to Campese. As I said earlier, Missius, he's not a traditional halfback. He's more of a fullback. So they do know that a lot of those last plays are likely to go towards Campese. But even with the pressure that they applied, he was able to get the kick away.
Yes, good players just seem to have time, don't they? They just somehow make time. So Campese has the ball placed. The Blues looking to push out to a 6-0 lead early in this match, and that looks good over the black dot. So 6-0. What do we have now, John? About 6 minutes of play?
Yeah, 6 minutes gone game so far. So it's been a fairly almost innocuous style, just except for that last kick, really. Just a few rolling sets down the field.
Well, a couple of good runs from the forwards, Tui and McInnes. Nothing spectacular, but they made metres to get the Blues into the position where they could come up with the attacking kick.
That's the second time they've targeted Missius from the kickoff.
So it's the Blues with the ball, 10 out from their own line, and Tui goes for a run up the centre. Plenty of defence there. Getting in there is Keeley underneath, and we've got a penalty. And that's for grabbing the leg, slowing the play, the ball down. And Campese will kick for touch. He's situated 30 metres out from his own line. There's that big boot of him. It's going to take it 10 metres onto the Roos side of the ground. So that's That's a gain of 25 metres from the centre of the park. It's a big kick. They come in, it'll be Rudy going to take the tap. And it is the Blues now setting themselves up. Missios, he passes to Campese, so they attack straight up. Hitting it up is Michael Cullen. He's taken down the middle of the field. 40 out from the Roos line.
That was really good defence by the Roos there.
Ulrich, dummy half. He has to go for a little run. And he's brought down now 30 metres out. Campese went dummy half to Tui. Missios gets it. He's wrapped up. So they've gone across field without making too many metres, but they'll pick up a penalty again. This will be a tap and run, I would think. So the Blues, Campese. He's just organising the troops now. Wonderful opportunity. Aaron Gorrell is debating things with the referee as to why that penalty was given. And this has slowed the play down. So Campese, he's got the option of kicking for goal, but I think this will be on the attack, 15 metres out. That's what they do. They tap it. They go through McGuinness. McGuinness pushes down that far side of the ground. He's only 5 metres out from the line. He stood up in the tackle. Comes back to Campese. Holds it up. Beautiful ball. Beautiful ball. Sees the Blues score their second try. I'm just trying to pick up on the far side of the ground who that man was.
It was a really nice play there by the Blues. You can see that Campese was shaping to pass to the prop Tui. But as he went in, he passed it back on his inside and it completely fooled the Roos defence.
I'm pretty certain it was Scott Kelsbeck who's crossed the line. But as I said, we're just learning these players. I haven't seen too many of these boys before. First crack at the Canberra Cup in many years. So, but I'm pretty certain it looked like Kelsbeck on the far side of the ground.
Yeah, that's Kelsbeck.
He's come off a beautiful ball from Terry Campese, who's really showing his class in these opening 10 minutes of this match. It has the Blues now skipping out to 10-0 with a conversion to come. So he's got the ball set. His first kick was a perler. It was straight over the black dot. It was probably the same distance out, although it was on the opposite side of the field. And now Campese strikes it nicely and the flags go up. So the Blues a very positive start, John, out to 12-0.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how the Kangaroos come back from this now. Aaron Gorrell will be filthy with the fact that they gave away 2 penalties in that last little set and gave the Blues easy metres and were able to just attack the try line just without worrying about the tackle count, really. So it'd be interesting to see how they go here. They need to be able to get the ball upfield and then not make any mistakes.
Brent Crisp gets play underway on the far side. Tieki brings it back in and he beats the first tackle with a good step and makes it about 15 metres out from his own line. In fact, it's George Stewart playing on that far side. Now McGuinness is getting through a bit of work early. I'd say the coach has told him to work hard the first 20 and then you can have a spell, the big man. He's getting through plenty. Comes back to Campese. Holds it up beautifully for the fullback Wheeler. Wheeler beats one tackle and he's wrapped up. That's a nice tackle. I think a rower got in underneath him. It was a rower. From dummy half, Tyler Stevens has a run and he takes it 12 short of halfway. Plays it back. Ulrich sends it to the far side of the ground. The lock forward, Josh Baker, takes a hit, 5 short of halfway. Ulrich sends it to Campese. He tries a little chip over the top. They need the bounce here, the Blues, and they get it. It's back with Rudiger. Rudiger, he's elusive. He got it away to the winger over there, Stewart. Stewart beats 2 or 3, comes back in field. He's able to unload it. They keep it alive on the last tackle. This is good play back to Campese. Now it comes across to Stevens. He gives it back to Campese. He tries the little kick through and the Roos finally have it.
Great tackle there from Wheeler.
Yeah, Wheeler is... He's come in and crunched Jake Keeley there, but Keeley's okay and he's got the penalty out of it. But it was a cruncher. But the Blues kept that alive. It must have gone through about 14 sets of hands before the Roos were able to close it down. And there's a big kick. I don't think it'll find touch.
No, it doesn't.
Jake Wheeler takes it. Good balance from Jake Wheeler. He races back over halfway, straightens up. So the Blues can start this set 38 out from the Roos line, and that's a great position to start the set. Oh, and they've put it down. Put it down cold. There was Michael Cullen. So that's unfortunate. And the Roos, who have been under siege, they need to get through a good set and get to the kick, I think, here, John, the Roos, to try and balance themselves up.
Yeah, the first set of the game that they had was a very good one, but apart from that, they haven't really done anything right. That, like, not finding touch from a kick like that, that's inexcusable. And they, as you said, they just need to roll up the middle, not try anything too fancy until maybe the last tackle or two of the count.
Gee, went for the big metres on the kick. It's going to be huge, but just couldn't find that sideline. Now Mitchell Connolly, the winger, he takes the first hit. He's 11 short of halfway. Essex goes into dummy half. He heads down the blind side. He's able to link up with Joshua Ayres. And Ayres is only about 8 metres short of halfway. So they need to balance up. Now Gorrell takes over at dummy half. He brings up the big man. I think that's Pearce having a run.
Yeah, it was a good run there. Got a good 10 metres.
Pearce plays it, comes back to Essex. Essex, he holds the ball up and he finds Dunn. And Stephen Dunn, he makes it 28 metres out from the Blues line. So they're working into position for a kick here, the Roos. They'll go through their lock forward to Holo. And this will be the last tackle. They're 31 metres out. They'll need a good attacking kick. Ball goes to Brent Crisp. He decides to run it. They've got the numbers here. And they've got a forward pass. So it broke down. They looked to have the overlap, but the forward pass was ruled on, I'd say, by the linesman. And that will be the turnover.
Yeah, there wasn't too much that Crisp could really do there because his centre and winger were standing in front of him. He couldn't really do much. He needed to pass it. They weren't doing him any favours.
Early in the season, and these combinations just not gelling as yet, I would say. And they've only had a couple of sets in this match to attack, so I look forward to them improving as they go along. McGuinness up the centre, 10 short of halfway. He's had a number of solid runs hard into that Queanbeyan forward pack. Ball comes back to Baker. Baker's only wrestling with them. He's only about a metre short of halfway, and it's a good wrestle from Baker. He finds halfway now. Plays it back. And Ulrich has sent it out to Tui. Oh, he set a loose ball, and I think it's gone to ground. Ulrich is knocked on. That was a difficult one to pick up. But see what Tui was trying to do. He wanted to unload. There was a bit of space there, but he just failed to get a good pass to Ulrich, and it breaks down.
Yeah, he's shown a lot of ball skills so far this game, Tui. He's making good runs, making a lot of metres, but he's shown a good offload as well. And now I also just saw Jedediah Simpkin. He just went back onto the bench, so surely he won't return, but he's not down in the shed, so that's a good sign.
So scrum will pack. Roos will get it. They'll go through Essex. They'll try and work it on that far side of the ground. I think that's Dumas, the centre out there, having a run. They'll bring it back into the centre now. So the Roos again need to complete their sets, playing the ball to Holo, and they work it down the far blind side again. So they're getting in a nice position. Playing the ball is Ayres. Messi with a Queanbeyan player, Messios, in there. Ball comes back now for Dunn. Dunn, they're up on him quick. Tries to wrestle with them, but they haven't made metres. Essex will have a run from dummy half. He scoots away. He looks for support. He finds it. They move the ball out wide. They get it to the winger Connolly on the far side. He comes back in field. This will be the last. They're 25 out from the Blues line. Essex will kick. There it is. It's a crossfield kick. It looks well positioned too. It comes to the centre. He's got one to beat. He'll beat him and score. That's a rower. So a row with beautiful footwork. He stepped off his right, then his left, and he's dived over in the corner, and the Roos were desperate for that. They've been on the back foot in this match.
That was a great little bit of play there. So you could see just before the kick was taken, Aroa, he was calling for it. He knew the play was on, and he didn't disappoint his teammates there at all. He's done very well, especially because he's not a winger. He's a centre playing out on the wing because of the injury to Simpkin.
Well, Essex kick was a beauty. I like the way Roa stepped off the right and fooled his opposite number. Then he was able to step off the left. So he's got a step off both feet, and that's a wonderful asset to have for a footballer. And the Roos, who were desperate. I don't know if you can read that clock, John, but I'm no hope.
Yeah, 17. I think it says 17 minutes gone. Also, Tui's just come off for the Blues as well, so good stint from the prop.
Yeah, he's done a good job, Tui. He's
Yeah.
a big man.
Yeah, it's a big conversion, this one here. Brent Crispy did kick 4 conversions last week. It'll be interesting to see how he goes, but this would be get the Roos right back into the game.
He's got perfect conditions, not a breath of wind. Beautiful afternoon here in Queanbeyan. And Chris moves in. No, I don't think he'll bring that one round. He's pushed it out to the right, well, a long way. Could see he was trying to get the swing on it, but to no avail. So we've got a scoreline of 12-4, and we're probably almost a point a minute. Did you say 17 minutes gone, and we've seen 16 points? So we might be in for an entertaining afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been some lovely play so far, especially that last try, and also just watching what the Blues are doing when they're in the opposition 20. It's been some very polished attacking plays. Not what you'd expect so early in the season. It's been very good stuff.
Okay, so now the Jared Pearce takes it up for the first hit up. And it's a good run too by Pearce. He brought it out. They'll continue to work it through their forwards. I think that's done, and he'll pick up the penalty. So that's a big help for the Roos. Second tackle, 20 out from their own line. Had a bit of work to do in working back towards halfway, but now with that penalty, and again the big kick, he really likes to eat up the metres, Crisp. That's going to go right down to the 40-metre mark on the Blues end of the ground.
Yeah, and they found touch this time too, which is even more important.
So Essex is going to work it through Pearce.
Great tackle there.
Tackle came from Kyle O'Donnell. It's a good hit. So they work it down the blind through Joshua Ayres. And Ayres is now 30 metres out from the Blues line. Come back through Pearce. He finds his lock forward to Holo. He's linked up with Essex. Essex wrapped up by Campese. 26 metres out from the Blues line. Plays it back. Gorrell, he wants a man down the blind. He finds Brent Crisp. Crisp stepping around. He's looking for a runner. He's brought down by Kelsbeck. They're only 20 out now. Comes back. Essex going across field, looking to link up. He beat one tackle. Spun round in a circle. Got it back to Daniel Reid, and Reid has driven across field. So no metres gained. This is the last. And again, Essex will be looking for the ball. Goes back, this time to Brent Crisp. He's going to put up a high bomb. High bomb to the far side of the ground. Oh, and beautifully taken out there by George Stewart. And Stewart has made it 15 metres away from his own try line. He went up high, George Stewart there. Did a good job.
It was a good kick from Brent Crisp as well. Before the match, he was practicing a lot of those torpedo bombs as well, and he definitely tested the Blues there with that kick.
Well, that's Kyle O'Donnell. They come in with some attention on him. Joshua Ayres came up with a good tackle, and he got help, I think, from Woods. Now, Ulrich's going to kick from dummy half. It's not a bad kick. It's got them scurrying back on the far side of the ground, the Roos. I think the fullback's got it, Daniel Reid. Reid will go into dummy half, so it's the winger on the far side, Mitchell Connolly, who's playing the ball. They'll just try and force it up. That's the lock forward. Asia Taholo. He takes it out towards the 30. So the Roos just continue to grind up the centre. It's been an intriguing battle with these two backs of forwards up the middle of the park. There's been some big hits. It's a real battle to get on top. Now Chris plays it. It goes back to Essex. He puts a kick that goes over the head of Wheeler. Wheeler rushes back, but did it go out on the full? We're coming back to halfway.
Yeah, must have.
Well, he's put a bit too much oomph into that. We'll have a turnover, and this will give a big opportunity now to the Blues.
It feels like the momentum of this match is just swinging quite rapidly. Just a few errors and a few penalties. They seem to be doing it in stints. So at the moment, the penalty count is evened up as well as the Roos have been getting into the game.
We've got 17 out there, Mitchell Day. He's got the blue headgear on, Mitchell Day. Comes across to Campese. He gets one back to Wheeler. Wheeler holds it up, and that's a beautiful ball. It goes to Stevens, and Stevens just couldn't quite get through the gap. Brought down 22 metres out. Played back for Ulrich. He's got on his outside Cullen, and Michael Cullen drives it down, only 12 metres short of the Roos line. Goes across to Campese. He's showing the ball. He holds it up, gives it to Missy Oss, and Missy Oss, he beats a tackle. He's almost at the line. It's brought down about 5 metres short. So the Roos do well to scramble there. Now they'll send a long ball back to Day, and he'll go in underneath the post. Mitchell Day, the fresh man on the park.
Just too strong there. I was wondering how the Blues would go without Tui on the ground, and Mitchell Day definitely hasn't disappointed there.
No, that's a good hit up. It was a flat ball across the face of the defence, and Mitchell Day has hit the ball with some power. He's got a bit of size about him, Mitchell Day, but it was a lovely flat ball right across the defence, and one-on-one, that close to the line, and Day just had a bit of speed up. One-on-one, he was no hope, that defender. I just couldn't pick up who he was, but he looked a bit seedy after trying to make that tackle on the big man.
I think most people would be feeling a bit seedy after trying to tackle Mitchell Day.
So this is Campese's easiest shot so far of the afternoon. He's put two over with perfect kicks from about 15 to 20 metres to the left, one to the left of the post, one to the right. Now he gets one in front of the sticks, and it's 16 points to 4. So the Blues have dominated so far in the first 23 minutes, John?
Yep, 23, you're spot on there.
Just the sun on that bright red letters are hard to read, but we just got a bit of cloud cover. Help my cause. Campese will plot this, no problem. Here it is. So they push out 18-4. Campese's been pretty much in control of the attack for the Blues.
And again, it's just a try on the back of a basic error by the Kangaroos, just kicking the ball into touch and giving away easy meters, and the Blues are just punishing them for it.
So Brent Crisp, former NRL player, brings the ball back to halfway to get things back underway. Kicks it deep down into. There's a mistake, and it came, unfortunately, for George Stewart, who's been so good in this match. But that was a high, difficult ball. He may have even been looking into the sun, John.
Yeah, and every kick, Chris has been going out to that edge. I think you're right. The sun's just making it difficult for the wingers. That was the perfect result for the Kangaroos.
So the scrum will pack, 10 out from the Blues line. And this is where the Roos probably need to strike back. I don't want the Blues getting too big a lead. They'll have to chase second half. Ball comes away to Crisp. Crisp holds it up. He gives it on there to Keeley. Keeley cross field, about 8 metres short of the line. The winger trying to get through a rower. He has a little run himself. He is their try scorer early in the match. He's made a little mistake. The referee sees a little knock on. The rower's protesting heavily, but the referee saw it. And again, as you pointed out, the mistake rate of the Roos is costing them. They're putting themselves under pressure, and they're losing their advantage when they get in position.
Yeah, this time it wasn't in defence. It was when they were trying to consolidate a little bit of pressure after the Blues had made a mistake. And that's been one of the big differences, because when the Roos are making mistakes, the Blues are scoring.
So Campese will feed the scrum. They'll work it then to the open side through Taviki. Taviki, I've got his name correctly pronounced. It's 18 metres out from his own line, and they continue to push through Kyle O'Donnell. O'Donnell makes good metres. He's 21 metres out. Ulrich comes back to Day, and Mitchell Day charges up the centre. He's met in good defence. Agier is there, also Pearce. He's almost made halfway. So Blues are grinding it away into good field position. Ball comes to Campese. He immediately gets that ball away to Michael Cullen. Cullen always looking to run off the edge of Campese, and it's a good thing to do. He's made play almost 40 metres out from the Roos line. Back in field goes Stevens. He didn't have much room to move. So it's the last tackle, and we'll see Campese with the high one. It goes up high, and it's going to put pressure on the they've made a kneel of it, the Roos. So it's picked up. Missios has it. He's going to take the tackle. Essex has him repped up, and he got away from him, and he's taken off. He's headed for the line. He's 5 short. Cover defence gets him. Missios, a good run. He'll play it. Campese shoots it out to his centre. He'll cross over for a soft try. And that's Thomas Rudiger, who used the right foot step, metres out from the line, and that was poor Queanbeyan defence in the end. Yeah,
I have been liking what the Blues have been doing on their last tackle. I haven't been predictable. There was a couple of plays earlier where on the last tackle, about only around the halfway mark, but Campese brought in a short chip kick and was able to really pile on the pressure. This time he went high and caused all sorts of problems for the Kangaroos defence.
Good right step by Rudiger. He's got a big step on him. He dived over. He beat two players to score that try. The bomb was a high one from Campese in there. Under a bit of pressure, the Roos, from the kicking game of Campese. So the Blues dominating at the moment, 22 points to 4. And Campese, who's got 100% strike rate, will line this one up about 6 metres in from touch on the eastern side of Seaford Oval. Try and keep that record intact, but Blues dominating. You can virtually use that word now, John.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the Roos will be disappointed by this because they're not that much of they're not a team that should be losing by this much to the Blues. They're a quality outfit.
Just the mistakes, or it could be a pretty much even Stevens, but they're just killing their they get themselves some opportunities and they're killing them. There's the kick from Campese, and he's got the kicking boots on today, straight over the black dot. So they skip out to 24 points to 4, and that's a strong lead as we edge towards halfway. We've probably got about 11 minutes to the break. And the Blues have put themselves into a very good, strong position, and Roos needing to do a bit of work, eliminate those basic mistakes. Brent Crisp has the ball placed again. No doubt he'll target George Stewart, and that's where he's gone. Missios is going to get inside Stewart and take it, and then he'll bring Day up. Mitchell Day hits it up hard. He gets the ball about 12 metres out from his own line. Plays it back to George Stewart, the winger. And Stewart has a bit of a scurry. He took it 22 metres out from his own line. Ball comes back to O'Donnell. And Kyle O'Donnell takes play 31 metres out in the centre of the ground. Ulrich sends it to Campese. Campese with dummies holds it up, got it to Wheeler. Wheeler's flicked one out to Stevens, and Stevens went back in field, threw it back to Campese. He's got it away now to the lock forward Baker, and Baker straightens the attack, goes for a good run, and he takes play 31 metres out from the Roos line. Plays it to Ulrich. Ball to Campese. One back inside to Wheeler. Wheeler puts the foot down, beats the defence, comes to the fullback, steps off his left, beats the fullback, and that's getting too easy now for the Blues. That's a good run by Wheeler. Jake Wheeler. An inside ball from Terry Campese, and the Queanbeyan defence, I don't think they slid from the inside, John, to cover the inside ball.
No, they completely... It's funny, like, we call them unawares, but it's happened a few times now where the Blues have looked to go left early. And Daniel Reid, the Queanbeyan Roos fullback, he was just left one-on-one with his opposite number, Jake Wheeler, but he made a very poor attempt at trying to wrap him up. You can see now on the replay, he just kind of hopes, maybe rushes up just a little bit too much and gets caught out of position there. But there's not much you can do in a one-on-one. You don't
one-on-one, you're in a bit of trouble, but I know what you mean. Jake Wheeler, he's got a bit of toe, hasn't he? When he put the foot down, he really made the Roos defence look ordinary.
Yeah, when you've got people like, you've got Wheeler and you've got Missios as well, there's a lot of pace in this team.
So out to 28 points to 4. Still 9 minutes to half time. And Campese with an easy one. He's about 5 metres to the right of the post. 100% so far with his kicking game.
If he kicks this, this will be his 12th goal of the season as well.
He's got no problems with it. So at 30 points to 4, half-time can't come quick enough for the Roos. I think Aaron Gorrell's got to have a good talk to the boys in the sheds.
Definitely. And it's also the Blues forwards are really starting to get on top of the Roos now. Kyle O'Donnell, this is his first outing for the Blues. Was injured last week, but he's been dominant. Just been getting a lot of metres post-contact. And Mitch Day, the try scorer earlier, he's been powering through. And there's two different body sizes making it difficult for the Kangaroos.
Missios takes the kick off and he gives it to George Stewart, the winger. Stewart comes infield like a good winger. He'll play it 12 metres out from his own line. So Roos with some work to do. They really need to tighten the defence up. Well,
great tackle.
There's a good hit. That's the lock forward to Holo. came up with an absolute beauty. And the Blues just up the centre. I think that might be O'Donnell again. And he's taken by Ayres. Ulrich gets it away to Mitchell Day. Gorrell goes underneath. I think that's Woods over the top. Ulrich goes to Campese. So a good defensive set from the Roos forces Campese to kick well inside his own half. And he kicks down, and the rower's got it. It's the lone try scorer for the Roos. Now a little run down the blind side from Jake Keeley. And the second grab on the leg. We'll see a penalty go to the Queanbeyan Roos. I'd love to get more points on the board before half-time. Brent Crisp, he won't go for metres this time. It's too difficult. He'll take it 45 out from the Blues line. So the tap from Keeley goes to Crisp. And they just work it through another player who goes up the centre, and that is Woods on the field, number 16. Paholo, I think, is the man having that run. And Gorrell gets it away, goes through Woods. Essex gets it out wide. That's Dumas. And Dumas trying to beat the defence. He makes metres. It's about 15 out from the Blues line. Comes back for Essex. He holds it up. He gives it to Ayres. Ayres straightens the attack, runs hard. He's 8 metres short of the Blues line. Ball goes to Gorrell, goes for a little run himself. Oh, good tackle, and there's an intercept from Stewart. And Stewart beats the tackle, starts to run downfield. Now he comes back infield. He's an elusive player. And George Stewart in the end has crunched into the ground, and there is a penalty for that tackle. And George Stewart not happy, and we've got a bit of push and shove going on. A few of the boys run in. We say we'll back up our teammates. And that's about all that there was, a bit of push and shove. So the penalty will go to the Blues.
Yeah, it was a pretty horrendous tackle there. I think there was a lot of frustration in that as well. There was just finally a chance for the Roos to put a little bit of sustained pressure on, but there was an unnecessary offload. I think it went forward in the end anyway, straight to the Blues. I think it was Stewart.
So Blues with the penalty, 30 metres out from their own line. They're in strong control. 30 points to 4. As we work towards half-time. Blues will take the tap on halfway. In comes Rudiger to take the tap. Sends the ball to Missios, got it away to Campese. He holds it up, he gives it on to Stevens. Stevenson gets the ball away to Taviki. Taviki going towards the sideline in a strong tackle, barreled over the sideline. It was Keeley, and a rower came in with a good busting tackle, and they played with the sideline, and it cost them the Blues early in the tackle count.
I know Aroa scored the try, but Aroa and Keeley, even though they're a bit of a makeshift pairing on that right edge for the Roos, they've probably been the big bright spots for them so far in this half.
He's having a crack, Keeley. Jake Keeley. Not a big man, but he got in into the rib cage there and drove hard. So Roos, they go wide, they go through Essex. Now they've got a bit of speed on that far side, and away goes Dumas, and a terrific run. Didn't link up with his wing on, he's lost the ball. So Rudiger's come up with it. Now it's a penalty to the Roos. So it must have been a call from the linesman. The Roos needed that penalty desperately. So 28 metres out. And Joshua Essex kicks for touch. That'll take play 22 out for the Blues line. Taking the tap will be Dumas. Gives it to Essex. Gets the ball away to Ayres. Joshua Ayres, he takes play only 12 metres short of the Blues line. Played back for Gorrell. Going to work the blind side. I think, is that Wiley on the park now in 15? He took that run. Ball comes back for Essex. Held it up beautifully, but Paholo just couldn't get through the gap. It closed on him. Gorrell will send it to Essex again. They'll work it to this open side. It comes through Chris. Chris holds it up. He got over the top of Campese. They bring him down 2 metres out. And the Roos get another penalty. Inside the 10 for the Blues. So Queanbeyan, through Brent Crisp, will take a tap and they'll work it away through Najir. Najir's about 5 short of the halfway. Gorrell swings it to the left. It goes to Essex. He holds it up. He sends a long ball out, and it's taken out there by the winger Connolly. He's 5 metres short of the line. Ball comes back inside to Wiley, and Wiley tries to use his size and strength, and he's only 2 metres short of the line. Gorrell this time, he tries a trick move, doesn't work, comes back to Essex. Essex running across field. He goes with the little kick in there, but it's nicely fielded by Taviki, and he gets back 10 metres into the field of play.
You can see Aroa calling for that kick there. I think he was wanting a bit of another high one. Blues.
Campese now gets it back to Wheeler. Wheeler seems to be able to beat a tackle every time he has a run, as he did on that occasion. Campese wants a few of his forwards to come up the centre, so O'Donnell has a run. He's going to play it, a slow play the ball in the centre of the ground, 35 out from his own line. They push it to the other side, but Kelsbeck will play it. And again they force it down now, little kick over the top from Cooger, and there's a tricky bounce that beat everybody. Blues get it back, but his referee has ruled there was a little knock on in there from the Blues. So the Roos will get the scrum feed 12 metres on their side of the ground. I think Campese's too happy. He's tossed the ball away after having a word to the referee.
And this is a big play for the Roos here. We've only got less than 2 minutes remaining, so this will be, you'd think, would be their last chance for the half.
12 metres shy of halfway. The scrum is starting to back. Comes out, Gorrell gives it away to Essex. The defence is up quick. A good tackle by Michael Cullen. Ball's played back. This time Gorrell brings up Aidan Woods. Woods forces it towards halfway. They're going to continue down that blind side, the Roos. That time it was Ayres who made some metres. They come back to the centre of the ground. He's trying to Harlow. They managed to keep it alive back to Brent Crisp. So they've worked it down to the 20. Still got a couple of tackles. Can they come up with points, the Roos? They're desperate to do so. The centre again, Hayden Woods. About 22 metres out. This is the last tackle. Slow play the ball. Might go the bomb. Goes away to Harlow, and there's a ordinary end of the set. So Blues clean that up. You can see why the Blues are leading 30 points to 4. The Roos are just having trouble completing their sets, getting to a good kick. And it's something they can work on and fix. But at the moment, the scoreboard is reflecting that poor percentage of completions. So it is Messios. Campese gets a quick ball to Cullen. Cullen, he wanted one back on the inside, but the defence were up in his face and he decides to take the tackle. Messios gives it back to Campese, and Campese splits the winger and fullback with a big kick. It goes right downfield. So now Connolly picks it up and brings it back. Daniel Reid will have to go into dummy half. The referee has called a halt to play. So that's half time. And John, would you have predicted a 30-4 score on the scoreboard?
No, definitely wouldn't have predicted that at all. Now, just looking at Aaron Gorrell as this is coming down, he knows he's having a bit of a laugh. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in that dressing shed though, because they've been disappointing there. They haven't really looked threatening in attack, apart from that one kick across to Aroa to score that try. They've been disappointing, as we saw just before the break. The Queanbeyan Roos had a bit of time just to put a bit of pressure on the Blues, and on the last tackle, somehow they locked forward, ended up with the ball on the last play and tried to put a grubber through, and that just shows a lack of imagination and not familiar with their structures, especially in attack.
Maybe they've had a short pre-season. These early games are their pre-season.
Yeah, I know last year they didn't have any trial matches at all, the Kangaroos, but I was having a chat to them, to Aaron Gorrell this year, and they did say they had a few trials before season this time, but they did have a different halfback last week. I think it was Luke Jones was their halfback. This week they've got Joshua Essex, so maybe it's just him getting used to their style of play, but Brent Crisp has really been the one controlling the play for the Roos, but he was just nowhere to be seen on that last play of the previous set.
Yes, a very dominant display, and Campese has shown his experience at the NRL level and 2 seasons in England, coming back to a lower grade of rugby league, and he stood out not in his kicking game, his ball passing game, and his general rugby league skills have made opportunities and space for the men on his outside.
Yeah, absolutely. He's had Michael Cullen running nice lines on his left, and when he's chosen to go left, they have looked threatening. But it's been that inside ball back through either to earlier in the game was to Tui, but Missios and Wheeler just running off them as well. They've just been very dangerous. The thing in the Roos' favour is that they know that when there's an attacking opportunity, 95% of the time it's going to be going to Campese. So if they're able to put some good pressure on him, they know that will shut down a lot of their attack. But the good players, as you said earlier, they just find space, they find time.
We go to an ad break, John. We don't have ad breaks.
No, we don't have ad breaks.
What a shame. Oh, it's a long road back for the Roos. They can tidy up. I'm sure that their captain coach Aaron Gorrell will be barking the orders down there to get to your kick, get it to the right player on the last, and get a good kick away and a good chase. So that's all the Roos have got to do, is concentrate on the basics, and that will help their cause. But they give away metres with their mistakes, and the Blues will just keep capitalising on them. And I think with dominating possession, it's wearing out the Queanbeyan forwards, and I think the Blues forwards have got right on top in that last 15 minutes of the first half.
Yeah, definitely. When the starting props of the Blues went off, Aaron McInnes and Sai Tui, when they came off, we wondered how they would cope. But with Luke O'Donnell and Mitchell Day, they haven't missed a beat. It feels like they've just got the fresh starting props on the whole time. Having O'Donnell there also adds just a little bit of a extra dimension to their play as well, because you got the big unit in Day, but almost like the lankier sort of forward, still very powerful forward in O'Donnell. But with the Roos, with their forward rotation, it was almost like the new forwards like Aiden Woods, I think Troy Wiley might have come on as well. They were a bit anonymous. They really did miss their starting props, and that was when the Blues were able to really get on top. In terms of, we were talking earlier in the match just about the errors and the penalties that the Roos were giving away, but towards the end of the half, that count actually evened up quite a lot. The Roos ended up making 6 errors, but the Blues weren't far behind with 5, and the penalty count was 5-4 in favour of the Roos. So while those errors are costing them early, it's really been, as you said, a lot of that pressure that they've had put on them, they've put on themselves by just not making the right decisions in especially with their kicks, their final kicks. Like, they found touch twice on the full, and just given away easy meters. They've made it very difficult on themselves.
Yes, they have. So they've got a long road back. It's just hard to see where it's going to come from.
All right. Well, we'll leave it there for this half, and we'll join you back for the second half.
Welcome back to Seaford Oval, second half. And it is the Roos with a big job in front of them, John. They're down 30 points to 4. The Blues have dominated the first 40 minutes of football.
Yeah, they've been absolutely dominant. So we'll see what happens this time round. Like in the half-time break, Aaron Gorrell led his team into the sheds and they were out pretty quickly as well. So I think his message would have been very simple: just hold on to the ball. And we'll see if that improves them in the second half.
Well, both teams are ready, but we've still got about 20 children on the field who have been enjoying themselves at half-time. So we'll wait till they safely away from the sideline and we'll be underway. Campese has the ball placed. The referee checking the timekeeper. And just making sure the last of the children, there's one little fella, he must be 3, he's down there tackling the corner post. So we'll have to wait till the little fella moves, just in case Campese kicks that way.
He's still on there too.
And he's kicked to the other side of the ground, thankfully, and it's a big kick, and it went out over the dead ball line on the full. So, a terrible start for the Blues second half. Penalty will go to the Roos, and I think they've got to capitalise on these opportunities, each and every opportunity this second half. If they're to work their way back into the match, right from the start here, they need to capitalise on this mistake.
Yeah, well, the second half couldn't have started much better for them, but the Blues made plenty of errors in the first half, but it was the Roos just gave the ball back to them. So they've just got to hold on to it here, and then once they've got the ball into the opposition 20, then they can play around then.
So Crisp has found the touchline. They're 30 metres out. Keeley will take the ball for the tap. So he taps, he throws a long one to Crisp, and he brings back on the inside Woods. Woods pushes it down, about 15 metres out from the Blues line. Plays it back for Gorrell to go the blind side, and he's got a good runner there. I think that's his lock forward to Holo.
That was a great run there as well, just brushed off a couple of defenders.
Ball comes back through Woods. He holds it up. He gave it away to Wiley. Wiley's got support, but the ball's gone loose. Just couldn't handle it there. Joshua Ayres, he was under a fair deal of pressure. So, again, the Blues disappoint themselves. They can't get to their kick. They need to get, if they don't score, they need to get to an effective kick to put pressure on the Blues. Scrum will pack 10 out from the Blues line, but the Blues will get the feed. So Missios just works one to the outside, and slow Rudy finally got to his feet and played it, and they go through O'Donnell and that far side. Campese goes dummy half. He gets it away to Mitchell Day. He straightens up. Brent Crisp and Aaron Gorrell there to meet him. Crisp with a ball and all tackle. Plays the ball, and Campese's been in a dummy half. He brings it back to his lock and Josh Baker. Baker makes play almost to the halfway. So Campese's playing the dummy half role. Mitchell Day, he flings one back to Campese. He was under pressure and did well to hold that ball. So defence was up right in his face. Now it goes away to the left. Rudiger. And he gets it away to Cullen, and he gets a ball back inside to Stevens, and Stevens gives it back to Rudiger, and Rudiger scores about 6 metres to the left of the stick. So that's good ball movement from the Blues. A bit of push and shove in back play there, John. A few of the boys are getting restless.
Yeah, so when Campese was tackled for that on that last play, he just gave the defender just a bit of a push in the face there. Took a bit of a disliking to something in the tackle, and that's just continuing there now.
Good try by the Blues.
It's fantastic because it also showed that they're not just relying on Campese in attack. He didn't really have too much to do there, but it was the two centres just linking up together, Rudiger and Stevens. And Stevens has been making some great runs today. But that ball.
It was a nice ball. Cullen back inside too. Beautiful timing when he gave it to Stevens, who hit the hole beautifully, and then Rudiger. And the Roos had no answer. So 34 points to 4. The rot looks like it's going to continue this second half. Campese, who's been just plotting them over that black dot, and that's not a big black dot on the goalpost here at Seaford Oval. It's only a very narrow one. But Campese must have been practising all week because he has been sensational. He's about 4 metres, 5 metres to the left of the sticks, and he'll kick this one with his eyes closed. He moves in, strikes it, flags are up, 36 points to 4. Early in the second half, the Roos miss their big opportunity and the Blues make them pay.
And I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but again, Roos were gifted territory with the kick out on the full from the start of the second half. Make an error, and then they can't cope with what the Blues give them back.
You might just keep an eye out. Campese played dummy half in that set, so Ulrich might be off the field, and Campese may have decided to take the dummy half position, but we'll see how it unfolds. So from the kick-off, the Blues' first tackle is 20 out from their own line, and that's the winger George Stewart having a bit of a run. Doesn't get far. Defence is good. Essex in there, and there's the penalty. Oh, he's going to tell him finally to play the ball. So Missios will take it, the little halfback, and he decides to have a run at the line.
Well, Ulrich's here a dummy half, so must have just been a one-off there by Campese.
He might have been injured back play somewhere. So Mitchell Day up the centre, 15 shy of halfway. Ulrich sends it to Campese. He holds it up. He looks for a player on the outside. He found Cullen. Cullen finds Stevens. He comes back in field, Stevens, brought down a metre short of the halfway line. Cover defence good that time from Queanbeyan. Campese will kick. It's a good kick. It splits the fullback and winger. There's a bit of a race back there, but finally it's Daniel Reid who got back and picked up that ball. So they'll work it away. Harley. He has a run into midfield. Now Reid gives it away to his centre, Luke Dumas. Dumas is brought down about 28 metres out from his own line. Keep pushing this side of the field. Harlow having another run. So the Roos not offering much. That's a very flat ball.
It kind of took the momentum out of that run as well, because the forward just had to stop and wait for the ball.
Wiley it was. Now it goes away to Brent Crisp. He links up to the man on the outside. He got it back inside to Crisp. And that's a better run, but it was the last tackle, so they couldn't get to their kick. They brought down 28 metres short of the Blues line, who had the answers over there in defence.
That's a couple of times where Crisp has tried to run over the top of Campese as well. So it'll be interesting just to keep an eye out on Crisp when they're in attack, to see what he's doing.
Well, Rick gives it to Campese to work the blind. He finds Stevens. Stevens working close to the sideline. They're trying to drag him over that sideline. It's a real tussle, and finally 4 of them in there. They push Stevens across. Stevens blowing up, saying it should have been called tackle. Seemed to go on for an age, but the referee won't have a bar of it. And the Roos get good field position. They'll feed this scrum 5 metres on the Roos side of the ground. Again,
an opportunity for the Roos to get back into the arm wrestle, or make an arm wrestle of it.
Under back. The Roos down by 36 points to 4 and under pressure. Essex brings it away to Dumas, and Dumas, he got it away to Reid, and Reid knows a mix-up. He's trying to work with Mitchell Connolly to get the ball back on the inside, and they turn it over first tackle.
Okay, that was poor there. I don't think there was really much need for the fullback to really pass it to the winger there. I think Connolly just got a little bit confused. And we've also just got Pearce just warming up on the sidelines here for the Roos. So the number 8 is just looking to come back onto the field shortly.
The Roos, they just can't complete. They can't get to their kick. Got a lot of work to do, to work on, I should say. And they will eventually do that. Here's Stevens stepping off the left. Trying to come back inside. Najir was there. So too Crisp. They wrap him up. And Campese's looking to push it down the blind. It goes to the fullback Wheeler. tried to hold that ball up. He was trying to set his winger up on that far side. And now Brett Cripps has intercepted it and taken off downfield. So the Roos first tackle, 38 metres out. Can they offer something here? It's a little run from the winger. And that was Haroa. He makes some good metres. Ball coming back for Najir. He came infield. Najir's brought down about 18 metres short. Now Gorrell gives it to Woods, holds it up for Essex. Essex, he sends a long ball across to Wiley. Wiley, he gets it onto his centre, and his centre's hit by a heavy tackle, but he stays in field. I think that's Dumas who's got to play the ball. Throw a long ball back to Essex. He throws again another long ball. It goes across through Wiley and then to Crisp. He beat Campese. He goes for the line. He'll score. They've come up with a try through Brent Crisp off a beautiful big right foot step.
That was a great little play there. Good ball movement as well, just going from left to right. And as it looked like Crisp was going to keep continuing the movement, going out to a rower, he just straightened up the attack and scored a very nice try. A much needed try as well.
There's a couple of long passes. Essex, a long ball out, and then it finally got to Crisp. It was a big right step. It beat Terry Campese. Cullen tried to cover, but Crisp put the foot down with about 8 metres to run. The job was done. A couple of lovely long balls that moved it out, and that's as good as the Roos have looked so far in this match.
And as I said earlier, just Crisp trying to run at Campese, and it's paid off for him this time. He's gotten the better of Campese a couple of times, just in terms of the size matchup. He's a fairly big 5'8", Brent Crisp.
He's huge. Big boy, played in NRL.
I think he played in the centres for the Bulldogs when he was playing the NRL.
Yeah, played a fair bit of wing.
Bit of wing as well.
But he's showing some skill here at 5'8". He's certainly filled out into a big lad. May end up in later years in the forwards, but at the moment he's still got good speed to play out in the backs. So Brent Crisp to convert his own try, and he hit the post and it goes over. So that's a bit of luck. 36 points to 10. It is the Blues over the Roos in this local derby. And the Blues, who haven't had to kick off too often, in fact the last time Terry Campese kicked off, which was to start the second half, it did find its way over the dead ball line on the foot. So he'll take a little bit of the pressure off this kick. He'll make sure he finds the field of play. Didn't know his own strength. So that one, he's lobbed it 20 metres short of the dead ball line. He's really making sure.
That's Pearce back on the field now, making the run. It's swamped by the Blues defence.
Now Pearce will play it, 7 metres out from his own line. And another forward just pushing it across field. Now Gorrell turns it back on the inside, and that's Stephen Dunn. Stephen Dunn takes play 22 metres out from the line. Comes back for Essex. A ball that ricocheted off one player onto the next, and it went to Dumas, but referees ruled it forward. So another mistake from the Roos in their own territory will mean a scrum will pack, and Blues will get the feed. 35 out from the Roos line.
Just interesting seeing Aaron Gorrell having a discussion with the touchy there. All he can do is just laugh like this with the errors that have been creeping into the Roos game. He's coping with it quite well.
He'd be frustrated deep down inside. Keeps a smile on his face. Missios feeds it. Comes out the back and away to Campese to Cullen. Cullen hard straight up the centre. He's 30 metres out from the Roos line. Back for Ulrich. Missios steps off the right, takes the line on. There was no way through. He's 25 short of the line. Ulrich gives it back to the big man Tui. Tui found support. They've kept it alive. Tui's still going. Tui about 8 metres out from the line. He's hard to stop, the big fella. Now Ulrich will go to the left. Ball to Campese. And he brought Cullen back at the angle, and Cullen close to scoring. Gave it to Ulrich. Ulrich's a metre short. Cover defence good. Wiley was there to make the tackle. Now it's a long ball to Campese, throws another long ball out, and it goes back to Wheeler on the inside. Stevens was the man who gave it to Wheeler. They've read it nicely. This is the last tackle. Now Stevens flicks it to Campese. He puts the bomb up, goes across field. Oh, and it's going to be a try.
No, I think he was it was dead.
Over the dead ball line?
Yeah, I don't know if the ball made it over the dead ball line, but I do think the Blues player was over. I think that was Missios there.
Well, the Roos, they certainly need back-to-back tries to try and mount some sort of a comeback, so they're off the hook there. And they'll work it back in field. Wiley's about 15 shy of the halfway. Gorrell gives it on to Jared Pearce. Pearce he thought about unloading there, just short of halfway. Gorrell options either side here. He comes back to the left. He finds his lock forward there. To Holo. They push it through Essex. Essex holds it up. He gives it away to Wiley. Wiley's taken play 25 out now from the Blues line. They've got position. Brent Crisp, he goes for a little kick over the top. Wheeler's racing back, and it'll beat him over the dead ball line.
He was hoping for a good bounce there, but it's quite the opposite. Just dribbled over the dead ball line.
So back for the 20-metre restart, and that will give the Blues 7 tackles, leading 36 points to 10. And we've had 10 minutes of play in this second half. And the Blues, who set up a huge lead at half-time, have been the dominant team. Campese works with Cullen, and Cullen always picked up, driven into the ground hard. A little a rower got underneath him and showed his strength. Up the centre. It goes through McGuinness. And McGuinness, he found play over halfway. Send it back for Campese. Campese showing it, holds it up. Missios. And Missios got it away to his centre, Rudiger. Right-footed Rudiger couldn't get through to the defence. He's 45 out from the Roos line. Plays it back. They go back across field to Tui. Tui will take a hit up, try and straighten things up. He's just inside the 40-metre mark. Campese wants one back inside the Wheeler. That move worked for trying the first half. Roos read it well. Last tackle. Campese goes with a high bomb. Down to that far corner and up. Oh, beautifully taken there by a rower. The rower finds some support too. I think Keely's got it. That far side of the ground, in fact, it was Reed. So the Roos, they survived that attacking set. Gier had a run. Now they'll straighten it up. To Holo, a good run up the centre. It's back for Gorrell. Gave it to Essex. Gets a long ball to Dumas. Dumas goes back in field wisely. He takes play 38 metres out from the Blues line. Ball across to Essex. He's holds it up. He shows it. He dummies. He bursts through. Fullback to beat. He chips ahead. Can he get the bounce? He's got a fair bounce. And there's the race, and the Roos will score.
Great try there.
And that's good work by Essex. And I'm trying to pick up your try scorer. I've got a feeling it was Crisp, but you may correct me there, John. But I'm pretty certain it was Brent Crisp who won the race to the ball.
Yeah, it looks like Crisp. That's what I'm saying, but we'll be able to tell on the replay shortly.
That's good play from Joshua Essex. And some lazy defence. They held off him as he showed the ball. And then
that's Crisp there.
Got the right foot step in, got through the line. I thought one-on-one he'd take the fullback on.
Yeah, it surprised me that option, and it looked like the ball might just not bounce right for him, but he did well in the end there. And it was just on the back of just a really good set. Like, there was some good runs. Started off with a rower, did really well under the Campese's high ball, and then good work from the fullback Daniel Reid just to be able to support him and get an extra good 20 metres. And then there was a good run from Luke Dumas down on the left edge, and then that last little step from Josh Essex that was fantastic, and it did deserve a try because it wasn't just the last play that was good and showed imagination, which we hadn't seen too much from the Roos, but it was just a good solid set, no mistakes, and plenty of metres gained.
So back-to-back tries to Brent Crisp, and he's now trying to convert. And it's a fairly easy one. He moves in and he strikes it beautifully. So we've got a score line of 36 points to 14. 16. So the extra 2 get added on. What's wrong with my maths? So Queanbeyan, Roos now are looking a little bit more respectable, adding those last couple of tries onto the board. Could it be the start of a revival? 20 minutes to go.
We'll see about that, but there's definitely some positives looking into next week because it's only early on in the season, and Aaron Gorrell would have been wanting his team to at least win the second half.
Kick off from Campese, he's taken by Essex. He gives it the big fella charging up the centre, Stephen Dunn. Dunn will play it 20 metres out from his own line. Goes back through Essex. I think that time, not sure it might be Pearce, I think, with the ball that time. In fact, it was. And to Holo, the lock forward, he's a busy customer. He takes play 21 metres out from his own line. Come back up the centre again through Pearce. Pearce has taken play 10 short of halfway. So they're doing good. They're grinding it up the field. This time Stephen Dunn. Dunn takes it over halfway. Goes back for Gorrell. They'll go for the kick on the last. Brent Crisp puts up a high one. Pressure on the winger on the far side who doesn't get anywhere near it. And it's scooped up now by Najia. But that's ruled as a knock on. So that'll be a Blues scrum feed, or will it be a turnover? So disappointing end of the set. They did well. They grinded it up off the back of points. They made no mistake. They got to their kick. So it's some improvement.
Now we're just going to see Terry Campese coming to dummy half. James Ulrich, he just limped up the tunnel, just really struggling with his right ankle. So Ulrich's off, and we'll see Campese coming in at dummy half.
Okay. Paviki plays it. Campese at dummy half. Tui goes up the middle, and he unloads a beautiful ball. The little halfback, Missios, goes for a gallop down the field. Takes play 25 metres out from the Roos line. Campese's at dummy half again, and he fires a long ball away to Rudiger. He found play on the outside, but cover defence is good on the winger, Taviki. Ball comes back to Campese, holds it up, dummies, gives it to Rudiger. Rudiger off the right foot. Nicely read, good tackle from Pearce. They're right in front of the sticks. 11 metres out the Blues. Now a little kick for Campese. From Campese is knocked on by the Roos, and there's a penalty to the Roos. So the Blues obviously inside the 10 chasing that kick.
Now, while the Roos have been much better this second half, they've actually made just as many errors in this 20-minute play than they did for that whole first half. So the Roos have made 10 errors so far, and the Blues 5. At halftime it was 6-5 to the Roos, but definitely still a lot of errors in the Roos game.
So Taholo takes it away, centre of the ground. He worked it up close to halfway, and Essex now linking up with one of his forwards on his outside. They're down to the 40-metre mark. It was Pearce. Taholo has another run. In fact, that time it was Najia. Now Gorrell works it down that blind side with Crisp. Crisp stands up in a tackle, got it back to Gorrell. He has to just bat the ball away. And now they work it back this side through Wiley. Wiley's made in a good tackle. He's about 25 metres out from the line. Gorrell's going to work it to Crisp, centre of the ground. 20 metres out. So the Roos are in attacking position. Gorrell gets it back to Halu. Takes play, about 12 metres out from the line. Now Gorrell works it across to Essex. He throws a long ball. This will be try time.
Did he drop it?
Well, referee's having a look at it.
No, it's a try.
He's awarded the try. Was it Dumas who finally scored it? Got a feeling Dumas, who plays in the centres, might have been the widest man on that occasion. But Essex threw the long ball.
I think it's Connolly there.
Connolly was the man who got across. So well done to Mitchell Connolly. Yeah, you're right. Dumas was inside him. Mitchell Connolly with not much room to work, John.
He's done well to get that down. A tough conversion here, just right on the touchline.
So 36-20. We've seen the last three tries go to the Roos. The Blues might have just clocked off a little bit after having that huge lead of 36-4. But this is a tough kick. He's inches in from the sideline. Brent Crisp, as the Roos can continue the surge to come back at their old opponents, the Queanbeyan Blues. And Brent Crisp with this tough one. He needs to get it. It's coming around nicely for him. It's a beauty. He's put it over, 36-22. So 14 points the difference. 17 to go.
Yeah, definitely. About 17 minutes to go. That was a very good kick there by Crisp. The breeze has just picked up just that little bit, so it was a bit more difficult than the one he missed earlier on in the match, in the first half. We'll see how we go. Be interested to see what happens just with the playmaking duties for the Blues with Ulrich off. When Campese's up in dummy half, it'll be very interesting to see what happens because they were very reliant on him in the first half.
Now the kick-off from the Blues. And Pearce has a run, bringing it back. About 15 metres out from his own line. In fact, it's Big Dunn. Look alike, big fellas. That time it's Pearce. Pearce is brought down. So the Blues trying to toughen up. They know they're leaking points. Last three tries going to the Roos. They surge towards a comeback. Holo tried to run. Now it goes back to Brent Crisp, and he puts a huge kick in. It goes over the head of Wheeler. So Wheeler's right back 10 metres out from his own line when he comes back at the defence line. And Roos a good chase. They pin him just outside his 20-metre line. So there's certainly energy in the legs of the Roos now on the back of those three tries. Run by Rudiger. In fact, it's George Stewart. George Stewart, the winger, is playing on that far side with Rudiger inside him in the centres. Now Rudiger has a run. He's got a good right step. Beats a couple and he takes play towards halfway. Messios at half, at dummy half. Gave it to Campese, the dummy, tried to split them. But a good tackle from Jared Pearce brings the former Canberra Raider down. Now I think we might have, is that Josh Stuckey on the field now? We haven't seen him in the match so far. He had a bit of a run, goes ball out to Cullen, gave it to Stevens, back inside to Cullen. Cullen pushes out a one tackle, Crisp grabs him, gives it back to Stevens. Stevens came across field and he's collared by Brent Crisp. He ordered to play it 28 metres out from the Roos line. Back for Campese. Campese going for the bomb.
Oh, he shanked that one there.
Cross field. Nobody wants anything to do with it. So Daniel Reid, the fullback for the Roos, tidies it up. So the Roos have certainly tightened up their defence this second half. They're not leaking the points. Playing the ball, Mitchell Connolly, the winger. Comes away. This time Aroa has a run. He's a slippery little customer, but Campese grabs him. 9 short of halfway. Gorrell fires one out on the outside there to Pearce and Dunn, who combined the big two front rowers. Well, the ball came back to be tidied up. And now Essex throws a long ball out. And it came to Wiley. Wiley tries to straighten up. That's the fifth tackle. They're 40 out from the Blues line. They'll work it to the far side for Crisp. He tries to kick. He dummies. He beats one. He's got a forward pass, that one. And a mile forward. Najia sending that ball. So that'll be a turnover to the Blues.
Yeah, there was a disappointing pass there from Crisp, but he's really been the one that's really sparked them this second half. Not only has he scored a couple of tries, but he's been very tough for the Blues to get a read on whether he's going to kick, pass or run. He's been very good.
Okay, so Blues with the ball. Kaviki coming infield for a run. Ball comes back in 14, Josh Stuckey. Flicks it back. Goes back to George Stewart. Stewart found halfway. Defence standing up to these Blues at the moment. Wheeler shows some speed, makes good metres. Takes play 12 into the Roos side of the ground and he's hurt. So Jake Wheeler, fullback for the Blues, will need some attention. So 36-22 the score. 12 minutes left on the clock. Roos definitely have to be next to score. But when you look at the halftime score line was 30-4, they've certainly turned it around, the Roos, on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they definitely have. They've really tightened up, and that's got to be a positive sign for Aaron Gorrell. Good to see Jake Wheeler be able to play the ball there as well.
There's Tui, good run, and looking to offload. Missios was in search of the ball. They go to dummy half. Campese will put the bomb up into that far corner, and players coming from everywhere. Ball goes loose. Who knows who knocked that on? Referee tries to work it. He says that the Blues knocked on, so Queanbeyan will play the ball. Now Brent Crisp pushing out of tackles. Hard man to stop. He takes play 20 metres out.
Again, running straight at Campese.
Daniel Reid, dummy half, finds Najir. Takes play out to the 30. Work it up the centre, this time through Pearce. He takes play about 8 metres short of halfway, so they've got determination in them. Look forward to Holo as a run. Finds the halfway line. Come back for Joshua Essex. Puts in a high bomb, Wheeler underneath it. Takes it beautifully. Ducks under a high shot. And will be brought down on the 20-metre line.
That was good to see Wheeler run there. It didn't look like he was being slowed down or anything, so he looks to be able to shaken off that little niggle that he got earlier.
Cullen got a ball to Viki, the winger on the far side. And now Cullen has a run on his own. He makes good metres. He's had a fine match, Cullen. Oh, they're going to throw him over the sideline. But he got it back just in time to Missios. Missios finds Rudiger. Rudiger's taken play up to the 40. So this is a chance now for the Blues. They're working into good position. Campese gives it away to George Stewart. Stewart's wrestling with them. Takes play to the 30. Missios playing at dummy half. Campese calling the shots again. He shows out a long ball. Comes down to Carlsbeck. Carlsbeck's brought down 30 metres out. Campese dummy half. Rudiger, the right foot step. There it is. Back on the inside. Lost the ball. So again the Roos defend their territory strongly. Which stopped the flow of the high points from the Blues that we saw in the first half. And it is the Roos now working it away, but time is starting to beat them. 10 minutes to go. They're down 36-22, so they'd need a rush if they were to be any chance in this match. So they'd need a converted try in the next few minutes. Up the centre goes the Roos, working it towards halfway. Now they work it across field. Dunn was linking up with his outside men. Got a bit messy, but they keep it alive. They come back inside.
Oh,
the Holo, and they did reef the ball out of his hands too, and the tackle penalty goes to the Roos on halfway. With this big kick from Brent Crisp, you'll see the Roos go right on the attack 20 metres or 23 metres out from the Blues line.
We've got a real opportunity here for the Kangaroos.
Mitchell Connolly there works with Ayres. Joshua Ayres in a strong run takes it 15 metres out. Gorrell turns Wiley back on the inside. Wiley's met a good ball and all tackle. Now Gorrell runs from dummy half, holds it up, gives the ball away to Essex. Essex turns, shows, comes back the other way, straightens up, going across field now. He's rounded up by Spears. Now a quick play the ball. They go for the line, they'll score. So try now to Gorrell, was it, who went across? And the Roos have scored 4 tries in a row, with Gorrell scoring that one. And suddenly the game is just starting to get a little bit nervous for the Blues. All the momentum is with the Roos. What a huge comeback.
Yeah, and one of the things that really changed, obviously the Roos have been holding onto the ball, but their forwards have been making good meters down the middle of the ground. Early on in the match, the Blues forwards were making easy meters, and really the Roos weren't able to match them. But the Roos, this is the team that went, I think it was about 18 games undefeated last year. They're a quality outfit, and it's good to give them, good for them to be able to put in a performance that is showing of their ability.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, John, but is that the last 4 tries of the match have all gone to the Roos now?
I think you're right there, because the Blues did score the first try of the second half, but Crisp has scored 2 tries.
Oh, Chris has had a shocker.
Oh.
He sprayed it well to the right. So Brent Crisp, who's been so reliable with his kicking this afternoon, and he desperately wanted that one. But the score, 36-26, 7.5 minutes to go. And all the momentum is with the Roos, who have fought back from 36 points to 4 to come back to 36-26. They've got the momentum. They've got to keep it rolling. They need to be the next to score to set up the grandstand finish.
And for the Blues, they've got a lot of questions over them with Ulrich off the field. They've been rotating the dummy half duties between Campese and Missios, but it has been leaving them short in attack.
So taken back there by Stephen Dunn. He works play for the Roos 15 metres out from his own line. So the Roos wanting a good set off points to work it down the field. They pick up the penalty. The Blues inside the 10. So the Roos fans starting to get on the edge of their seats. They're watching a tremendous comeback. What a good kick for touch from Crisp. And that takes play down towards the 40 out from the Blues line. The referee wants them to take the tap again. So Dumas takes it. Gives it to Essex. He finds his lock forward. On his outside.
He's had a good game to Holo.
Oh, he's busy. He's a busy player. He comes down the blind side. The Roos. And now they'll work it back the other way to Holo. He holds it up. He gave it away to Ayres. They keep moving it. It goes to Crisp. Crisp looking for someone on the inside. He found Keeley. Keeley's crunch. 3 of them come and they drive him over the sideline. About 15 metres out from the try line. So I think the cover defence was great from the Blues, but probably put that man under pressure.
Yeah, I think Campese's hobbling a little bit over there on the far touchline. Whether it's a bit of cramp or if there's a bit of a niggle there.
So this scrum will now pack 12 metres out from the Blues line. I think the Blues had to muscle up in defence there. If that was a try, that would have given an enormous boost of energy into the legs of the Roos, who are charging home in this match. So Blues under pressure. They don't want to make a mistake coming out of their own end. Josh Stuckey was the man who found Rudiger. They're going to continue to work it up the centre. That's Kyle O'Donnell. O'Donnell. He got it back to Missios. Missios gets out to the 30. And Peasy, dummy half, gets it away to Baker. Josh Baker comes back infield. He's in search of the halfway line and he's about 6 shy of it. Played back, Missios. Gives it to Campese, back inside to Wheeler. It's a move they like to put on, and Wheeler's brought down. 43 out. Roos have been awake up to that move after it created a try early. Now McGuinness. And Aaron McGuinness is playing at 22 out. It goes to Campese. He puts the kick for touch in. Just wants to slow things down as that clock winds down to 4 minutes 12. It's a good move from Campese. Soak up the time.
Yeah, definitely. You think surely there's not quite enough time for them to get 2 tries, but they've had a very good performance this second half, the Roos.
Yeah, it's something to build on. The Blues, we feel, are home now, unless there is a sensational long distance try here from the Roos. They started And the scrum win 10 metres out from their own line. Virtually got to go the length of the field to give them any hope in the dying minutes of this match. A couple of grinding runs up the centre. That was Troy Wiley. I might have to throw caution to the wind here. Heading up the player Joshua Ayres. He's got a blue player pushed him. He can't do that. That was Kyle O'Donnell giving away a penalty. There's no need for that. It's a silly penalty. And now Campese up to argue, and I think that's just a tactic of soaking up time.
Yeah. Aaron Gold was trying to persuade the referee to give O'Donnell 10 in the bin then. A bit ambitious.
Look at the kick. Look at that kick. It's taken play right down to 28 metres out from the Blues line. So if the Roos could score a try here, we'll have a grandstand 2-minute finish. Can they do it? Woods, he plays it. Ball comes back. Essex, he holds it up. It's away to Holo. He's a little bit slow to get up. He's done some work here this afternoon. Ball comes back to Woods. Woods across field, looking to link up. Has to take the tackle. They need something. They need it quick. Aaron Gorrell. Essex. To Holo. Crisp. Oh, beautiful run. Oh, high shot at field. A high shot. No. Referee said it was okay. It was shoulder high. It looked quite aggressive.
Yeah, it looked like it was right around the throat from here. Mind you, we are a little bit further away.
Well, what's the referee going to rule here? Surely that's a penalty to the Blues. It's got to clear the ruck before you can dive in like that, is it? You're going to rule a scrum. He'll rule a scrum, so that's probably that was the last opportunity I feel for the Roos.
Yeah, the Blues have done enough to hold out for this match, but I think the Blues can be very happy with their first half performance, but they come away from this game knowing that they've got a lot of work to do. They can be quite happy because this second half's really been their first test of the season after having a very easy run out last week and a very simple first half here.
Now we've got the referee not happy with something here, and I think he's giving this man, is he giving him 10 in the sin bin? What's he ruling? Giving the penalty to the Blues, and I think someone's copped 10 in the sin bin, and I think it's Brent Crisp. And play won't start if he has given him 10 until he goes off the field.
He's taking off his strapping, so it looks like that's what's happened.
Well, that's the slowest walk off the field you've ever seen. He's just strolling across like he's wandering down a lonely beach. So Brent Crisp has been sent off for 10 minutes, and with a bit over a minute left on the clock. The slowest walk off the field you've ever seen. So 30 seconds to go, and the Queanbeyan Blues have only scored one try in their second half after having that big lead at half-time of 30-4. Lead 36-26. They get a final chance in the last set of the afternoon. Hope you've enjoyed this coverage from Seaford Oval. The boys getting a little bit hot under the collar here at the end of the match. Bit of push and shove. And it has been the local derby, the Queanbeyan Blues and the Queanbeyan Roos. And today it was the Queanbeyan Blues who were too strong, courtesy of a terrific first half of football. The half probably that the Roos would want to forget because their mistake rate at vital times.
Is this
another one in the tent? Someone else.
Is that O'Donnell there?
That's O'Donnell. He can have 10 in the bin. So the referee making sure there'll be no bluing at the end of the match. He's lost his patience.
And yeah, a nice way to cap off your debut. 10 in the bin.
A couple of seconds to go. And we're about to hear the siren. And there it is. So the Roos will have the last run of the match. And John, that is where I'm going to leave you. But you feel free to wrap it up with all the scorers and everything. Terrific to work with you and Josh, our producer, and our cameraman,
Trav?
He's done a wonderful job. And it's been quite an enjoyable game. It looked like being extremely lopsided, but we did see a wonderful comeback from the Roos. I look forward to working with you again, John, and also Josh. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Chris. Well, that's the end of the Queanbeyan derby, which didn't seem to boil over right at the end there, with the two players in the bin, Brent Crisp and Luke O'Donnell there as well. A lot to take out of the game for both teams. The Blues were very solid in that first half, really dominant. Really, their left edge was superb with Tyler Stevens and Brenton Tueki, as well as Michael Cullen as well, running good lines off Terry Campese. But in the second half, an injury to James Ulrich really did slow them down, and the Roos really built their way into the game. Although it was too little too late in the end, Brent Crisp really did lead the way before he was sent into the bin late on in the game. Next week, we've got the Roos. They've got another tough test. They're coming up against the Gungahlin Bulls, who beat the reigning premiers West Belconnen last week. So the Kangaroos will be playing the Bulls at home. And we've got the Queanbeyan Blues taking on Goulburn Workers Bulldogs. And the Goulburn, although they had a poor season last year, the 2 years previously they were grand finalists. So it'll be very interesting to see how these teams carry on from then. There's a lot for both teams to learn from this game. But it wasn't as bad as the Roos thought it could have been at half time. They were down 36-4, but ended up 36-26 there. So that's all from us at Bar TV Sports. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next week.